Hey guys, welcome to Gods Unchained with the Professor and FakeMews. How are you doing, FakeMews?
I'm doing well. How are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. Thanks for asking. Pretty slow day. Usually we could start with our weekend rank results. I actually had a decent weekend ranked. I streamed it on the TST Discord. We had a voice channel set up recently, so I streamed some Bitter Endings deck. Doyle was in the chat with me, and um, he was kind of walking me through some of the lines available. Um, he has played over, I think, 1,000 or 2,000 games, some insane number. So he was teaching me the ropes. How did your weekend go?
Yeah. I think I forgot.
It was a forgettable weekend.
I ended up with 9, but yeah, let's just go with the no, nothing happened.
Nothing
Nothing
ever.
happened.
Okay. Okay. So I know last time you mentioned that you're going to be taking some time off from GU this week. So when does that start?
Yeah, I will be waking up at 2 a.m. on Thursday. So, and I won't get back until Monday, which means that my Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday streams will be canceled. I will skip this upcoming weekend ranked. So, yeah, that's basically it. Wednesday stream is canceled because I have to wake up at 2 a.m. on Thursday, and the normal stream time is a little bit too late for me.
Yeah. Have you played any GU since the weekend then? And I guess in advance of Wednesday?
Yeah, I D-ranked to Solar Gold.
You, was this during the weekend or just recently?
This is pretty recently. I was
Oh,
doing my daily 10 yesterday, and I went from Mythic to Solar Gold. So it's been rough.
so daily 10, meaning you were trying to win 10 games, and in the course of trying to win 10 games, you went from Mythic to Solar Gold.
No, I was playing 10 games. I went 3-7, and apparently that was enough to send me all the way down to Solar.
Oh,
I don't
wow.
understand the ranking system. Yeah, it's like 3 wins and 7 losses is, I mean, not that bad to derank twice, right?
Yeah,
But apparently it was.
yeah, I can't, well, I mean, we could probably ask Stack for the math, but I can't believe 7 games drops you from Mythic all the way down to Solar Gold, given that it's not even the weekend rank reset. So you didn't start at 1350 MMR, right?
I was pretty close to deranking.
Okay, okay,
My Flex Wheel Sunday stream ended on the edge.
okay.
And then I think I deranked either on my first or second game yesterday, and yeah, deranked again on the 10th game.
So it sounds like when you're back from your time off, you'll be grinding back up to Mythic then.
Yeah, I mean, I might play some tonight and tomorrow night.
Oh, okay.
Well, not much tomorrow night, but
Yeah.
just quick aggro war games as I try to go to sleep or
Yeah.
something like that.
Okay.
That usually gets you back up to diamond easily, and then with enough reps, usually you get back up to mythic doing that.
Yeah, so it's as you know and we talked about here before, I've deranked myself, but what I've found is that once let's say I end the weekend at diamond or whatever level it is, I noticed that under the mythic rankings, there's more aggro war than at the mythic level. So I actually, what I've been doing is I've been switching to zombies to try to counteract that. I'm not gonna say it's 100% successful, but that has been my strategy.
Well, I mean, it works 100% of the time, 50% of the time.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. Speaking of Ben the Wolf and all the action going on with the meta with it, we were expecting Band of the Wolf to lock this week. There was a GU announcement that the lock has now been pushed back to June 21st. So that's quite a big pushback. What do you think about that, fake news?
Yeah, it's all right for me. I don't have any issues in being patient about not rushing to things, so I support it. More time to try to get things right and before we lock things permanently. I'm still a little unsure if bitter endings is healthy for the long-term balance of the game. Even though I think it's okay in this current meta, I'm a bit concerned for the card long term. So maybe some more data for a card like that. Maybe more reconsideration for maybe a redesign to something like that. I don't know.
Interesting. Yeah. So that's you're right. It is an additional 6 weeks. And there's been a couple of sets where they've done this compared to, I think the last two sets, Winterlands and Light's Verdict, where they rushed the lock and people were like not happy that it was rushed. So maybe it is a good signal that they are taking their time before they lock this set, considering that there are quite a couple of cards that could potentially have big implications, like you've mentioned.
Yeah, I think in the case for Light's Verdict is the main one I would think of. I think they would love a take back seize on Blade of the White Plane in particular.
Yeah,
That one feels like they missed the mark there. They thought that they did nerf it. It was originally a 5 mana 4/4, and they nerfed it to a 3/3. But of course, that didn't impact the card as much as I think they originally thought. So I think that extending the time and allowing some of your previous changes that you made and seeing how they actually impact the meta, I think is good long term.
yeah, I think definitely Blade wasn't adjusted properly, um, so that was definitely an issue. And right now, it's one of those cards where it needs to be in every competitive deck. Otherwise, the deck is not as competitive.
It really limits the design space of the game too, because it's really hard to print a card now with that costs 4 or 5 mana that has only 3 attack, because you just gotta get punished for that.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Like, so basically now any card that doesn't have that three attack, that that is under that three attack threshold has to have something wonderful for it to do. Otherwise, it's just going to get killed. So yeah,
Yeah, I feel like they made Blade of the White Plane as an effort to nerf Pyramid Warden for the 17th time. And yeah, speaking of kind of the difficulty of these perma-lock situations, Pyramid Warden being a good example of that, they have gone out of their way to keep printing cards. They even made a card with artwork with Pyramid Warden on it, with the Munician Infiltrator, or I think that's what the card's called. But
right.
yeah, it's just weird.
Yeah, it was pretty much, hey, look at this card, which is going behind the Pyramid Warden. Make sure you use this card to beat Pyramid Warden, right? They couldn't have been more obvious.
Yeah, yeah, that they were trying to make that an idea, and
It,
there was a short period of time where people were taking that in some decks, but
right.
now I think since Pyramid Warden is less popular, then cards like that become a lot less popular.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Speaking of Pyramid Warden, I'm not sure if you follow the GU card market. But I was in a couple of streams just watching and hanging out, and people, more than one time, several people, different streams, brought up that they were growing concerned that card prices in general, in aggregate, are just trending down. Um, for example, I'm pulling up Demogorgon. Current price is 0.22 ETH, and this was from previous when it was around zero point 0.3 to zero point 0.4. Several other cards have been trending down as well. I like to check some of the Genesis cards to kind of get a feel for the market, like Demogorgon, Pyramid Warden, Underbrush War, etc. Even the White Plains Ethereal. So they're all trending down. Have you noticed this, and what do you think about that?
Yeah, I think this is just a simple case of supply and demand. Right now, demand for new cards is incredibly low because we're not really onboarding new players at any rate at all. And some people are getting frustrated with how things have been recently and have been leaving the game. And some of these people have large collections and start undercutting each other. And with nobody interested to buy, you can get some sales out there. I mean, it's very difficult, but if you're bullish on the long term potential of the game, then this could be a very good time to enter the market. But of course, not financial advice.
Yeah,
But if you're bullish, then it is, and if you're not bullish, then you could say this is the beginning of the end. But hopefully, that's not the case.
yeah. Now, great points there. Definitely not financial advice. I agree with you. This is a time for people to, if they're bullish on the game, on the long term um, proposition of the game, to spend some money and possibly fill out collection cards that they don't have. But you're right. If they feel like this is just the start of the wave here of a downhill slide, then it might not be a good sign, and definitely not a time to pick up more cards. But that remains to be seen. There's different initiatives that GU team is working on, mobile being the biggest one. So there's definitely a lot of different initiatives that they're trying to push out. So I think depending on how they do or if they don't deliver, will determine if this thing was a precursor or just a false blip.
Yeah, it feels like they're putting a lot of eggs in the mobile basket, and depending on how that turns out, hopefully they pair mobile with something big and exciting alongside it, like maybe sealed, maybe a new real set, like a big set, not a mini set, but big set. So, something along those lines. If we could get a lot of hype generated into the game, we really need to onboard new players for the long term success. And with mobile, that's obviously the goal, is to onboard a whole different type of audience who just plays on their phone. But I'm still very confused on how the logistics are going to work with mobile. And I'm unsure if the modern NFT crypto market, the buying and selling of cards, how that logistically is going to work on mobile. That's what I have questions about there.
Yeah, I wonder. I was thinking that right now too. I wonder if, let's say, new player picks up GU through mobile. They don't know anything about desktop and MetaMask. So let's say they set up an account. Obviously, they could, play without setting up a wallet, play for free. But I wonder if behind the scenes, um, GU/IMX sets up a IMX passport wallet for them, um, which is just tied to their account, and then sends like their weekend rank prizes there. And then much later on, they get a message or an understanding that, hey, the prices you've been earning can actually be traded. So I mean, ideally, that's how it works out. But again, you and I both don't have insight to this, but we're just throwing out ideas there.
Yeah, I remember when I first started GU, and this was way, way, way back in October of 2020. Some of the people listening to this show weren't even alive then. And it is true. It is true, right? But anyways, way back then, in an era that none of you could imagine, I it was setting up a wallet was not an easy process for me. It was very frustrating. So I understand the new players and not wanting to go through that process, because I came from a background that was not a crypto background. I was a Hearthstone player that decided to play Gods Unchained because I like the idea of being able to actually sell my cards. So it's going to be interesting to see how you can get the normally non-crypto people on board, because I think for the long-term success of the game, you need more players that come from a background more similar to mine to ultimately be successful.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's the target market, and hopefully a solution is in the works or is going to be deployed at the same time as mobile. But that's definitely a good point. All right, so I know you're not planning to do weekend ranked this coming weekend, but I mean I think it's pretty much the same, right? Control War is the top deck.
Yeah, control war. You can try to get cute with your card draw magic, hoping to queue into control war, but then you're just going to keep queuing into aggro wars that keep going first, and then you're going to hate life. So there's that. I mean, there's some weird control death stuff. Some people had some success last week with control deception. So those were some things I noticed. But yeah, basically there's a lot of different decks you can play right now, and if you run well, you'll have success, and if you don't, then well, you'll be with me in Solar Gold very shortly.
We're starting the FakeMews Solar Gold Club. I think. If you noticed, Kargas actually changed his name for a while there to a Solar Gold Whale. I think he was found himself down there as well.
Yeah, it's been a lot of people deranking recently. I had a stream the other day where I played Mirage twice in Diamond, and
Oh,
I like in that matchup, you would not expect FakeMews versus Mirage to be a Diamond matchup, but that was a weird sighting as well. You're not used to seeing that name D rank.
yeah, yeah. What did they say? Orange is the new black, so now diamond is the new mythic.
Something like that. We're just being we're just scouting the potential up and coming players.
Yeah,
That's
testing
what
them
we're
out.
doing.
Testing them out.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes you got to go back to the minor leagues to see what the youngins are up to.
Yeah, nice, nice. Also, you mentioned that your possible travel this weekend might coincide with the tournament. So, yeah, did that happen, or you got around it?
Well,
Oh, without
it's
spoilers.
undetermined.
Okay, okay,
So, well, I can tell you right now that my round of I don't know if it's the round of 64 or the round of 32. The numbers they mix up. But I have one round today
okay.
that I have scheduled today, and then after this, I need to coordinate and schedule the next round tomorrow. If
Right,
my opponent can't play tomorrow, by the way, this is being filmed on Tuesday. So if my opponent can't play on Wednesday, so by the time this airs, this will have already happened.
right.
If my opponent can't play on Wednesday, I have to forfeit. If my opponent can play on Wednesday, I think I'm good. So I have to win today, and then I have to schedule within 24 hours, and then I should be home free. I should have enough time if those two things go through.
Until
But
the next round.
otherwise, the next round, I think I can wait until the following Monday and be
Okay,
good.
okay. Yeah,
So
so so you got a
that's
wheel
the
and deal,
plan.
right? If let's assume you're gonna win tonight, because that's the winning mindset. Let's say you win tonight, and then you better wheel and deal and get that game set up for Wednesday as soon as possible. Then, right?
Yeah, and I think the current situation, last I checked, was the other people haven't played their match yet either. So it's a very tight situation. Though it's very unfortunate because my opponent this round could only play on Tuesday, which is like the very end of the round. So it gave me like no time to set up anything because I was hoping to play ahead, and unfortunately not getting the opportunity to do so. So it's not going to benefit my opponent this round because I'm going to crush them tonight out of anger, and then it might still be the doom for myself tomorrow, assuming my opponent just ghosts me for 24 hours and gets the free win.
Oh no. Well, well, they're not gonna hear this, so it won't be coming from here. But hopefully, you're able to schedule
I
that.
mean, they may hear it, but it'll be 24 hours after that. This might be the news to whoever I'm facing that they just got a free win. So
Yeah,
we'll see.
after they decide to either ghost you or respond, they'll find out if that was the best decision they made.
Yeah, something like that.
All right. Well, sounds like you're going to be on hiatus, so enjoy your break, and hopefully the tournament game tonight goes well, and also on Wednesday, if it does happen. And then we'll look to hear from you again, not until next Wednesday, right?
I will be streaming on next Wednesday. That will be the next time I stream. All my streams this week are canceled Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday because I'm leaving on Thursday, but I'm leaving it Thursday at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
So the Wednesday night stream is just a little bit too late for me. So, and won't be getting back until I have a red eye Sunday night. So it'll be Monday morning technically when I get back.
Yeah, definitely. Perfect timing. Hopefully everything works out and you have a great time. Um, Thanks again as usual, and have a safe trip. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.